they're just so amazing. But we used to do boot camps, and this one in particular took place in Michigan. Yeah, if you haven't been part of like an in-person event for It Works, like they literally will change your life, your business, and the digital events are really, really good too. But this particular boot camp, I had seen Mark speak on stage and in person before. I'd been to like the big conferences in Florida. And if you are on the family calls on Sundays, you'll from time to time see Mark pop on and speak. But at this particular conference, he got up and he just like shared his heart. I think he had asked the diamond and above leaders to come a little bit early or stay a little bit late, I forget. And he was speaking to kind of like a smaller group within the group, but something that he had shared that always resonated with me. And the longer you're with this company, the more that I think you'll really find this true, which is number one, what Mark says he's going to do, like he does. Mark Pentecost has, some of the biggest and best business sense that I can imagine. And it's one of the reasons he's been voted number one CEO in direct sales companies like year after year after year. I don't know if you guys know that, but Mark has been voted multiple times the number one voted CEO out of so many hundreds of companies. So that in and of itself tells you you are part of something so special. It literally gives me chills. And so that particular day, I can remember him just being up on the stage and talking and sharing. And, one thing he was talking about was where he was going to take the company. So keep in mind, this was 2017. We're now 2021. So this is about 4 years ago. And he was speaking about, he doesn't just want It Works to be the number one direct sales company. He doesn't want to just be the number one. I mean, Mark Pentecost is a pretty competitive guy, right? You have to remember he's a high school basketball coach and he's all over, all the different sports that he loves and everything. And so when he says he wants to be not just the number one direct sales company, he wants to be the number one company. Okay. And so when he was talking about that, he was making references and referring to, things like Amazon. And he really alluded to the fact, and this is something that always stood out to me. He really alluded, to the fact that he wanted It Works to be able to offer free shipping. That was a huge thing in his heart and something he really wanted to be able to give to our customers to help better build our businesses, right? So they're always looking at ways that they can have our back and help us just build a better and a stronger business. And so talking about free shipping 4 years ago, and I know that's something that he's always really, really stood by and really pushed for. And guys, when you look at our brand new customer program, like the second that customer program launched this year, and if you're a brand new distributor, then you really don't have the point of comparison, but having that free shipping option as like the premium status where your customers are getting 100% free shipping, like that is part of what Mark promised he was going to do and where he wanted to take us. And it's just the beginning. It's just like the tip of the iceberg. And, we don't always reach our goals as quickly as we want to sometimes, but he is taking us in that direction of like where he sees us as a company going, which is number one. Okay. Number one CEO. And one of these days, number one company, but we all know It Works as number one for all of us. So guys, I'm going to pass this off to one of the other leaders here on the call who would love to share just a little bit about their passion for It Works and just to kind of give some insight into the Pentecost family. So either Julia or Chelsea, or who would like to unmute and share? Julia, it's all you.
Okay, I'll go next. I was just making sure Chelsea wasn't going to unmute. You guys, I'm so excited. First of all, I'm so glad that everyone is on and cameras are on and you guys look ready to go. And that just makes me so excited because I think tonight is going to be amazing. And how many of you guys, just drop a 1 in the comments if you could use like your cup filled, because I think that's what's really going to happen tonight. That's what I'm personally so excited for, is to have someone like Cammie who can take the time out of her day and pour into us. And so I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about my experience. I actually went to the ranch, year before last, maybe 2 years ago, I believe, we had a little contest and I won a trip to the ranch. And I think for me, that's what really solidified the business for me, that this was the right one. How many of you guys, let me know in the chat if you guys have like degrees or you already have like a well-paying job, something that is pretty stable. Okay, so when I first started, I had 3 jobs. I was in school full time, but I graduated and I have a degree in marketing. And so I could get a job anywhere. Like honestly, around here, they pay pretty well. I could probably make $80,000-$90,000 a year and live fine with the degree that I have, right? Many of you guys have degrees. It looks like some of you guys even have your master's degree, right? So you could do other things. Okay, that's my point here, is you could do other things. I feel confident that I could do something else. But when I went to that ranch, you guys, I was like, this is the place for me. And so I hope that you guys will one day get to experience that, or get to meet Mark in person and Cindy in person and Cammie in person and the whole family, and kind of get that insight that I had. But I took my mom to the ranch and we got there, and it was amazing, you guys, because they literally just opened their house to us. And I think it was amazing to see for my mom too. I didn't grow up like in a super wealthy area. I'm not sure how you guys grew up, but I didn't grow up seeing like a lot of money and things like that. And I almost had the impression, let me know if you agree, that like money was evil. Okay. And it's not something that like I believe now, obviously, as like my, perception has changed. But when I was younger, I just associated that if people were rich, that they were evil. That's how they got there. Right. And so when I got to go into their house, and we took our shoes off at the front door, we're sitting on their couch, like we're just hanging out at their place. And I got to see how awesome they were and how humble they were. And the fact that it's a debt-free company and they're debt-free people. And like he preaches on how much better you sleep in like a house that's paid for and things like that. It was amazing for me to see. And I think I saw that, realization for my mom too. She got to see that. They were like, so making sure she was okay, helping her up into the little, what is it called? Like the mud buggy thing, the swamp buggy. We went through all that. But for me, that was like a real eye opener. I was like, holy cow, this is the place for me, because these people are genuine, down to earth people. And I know that if they have all of this, and this is what really like settled it for me, is I was like, they have all of this. They have the island, they have their own other house, their family is pretty much set, all their kids are set, and they're still working, right? Isn't it mind-blowing to you guys that like Mark shows up every Sunday for a family call, right? He doesn't have to do that. He could totally just turn this thing over and say, I've made my money, I'm set, my kids are set, I'm out of here. But that they have a heart for the company, because they show up every single Sunday like it's your dad on a FaceTime. He's showing up and he's saying, hey, I'm here, like I'm supporting you guys. And the same goes for Cindy. Like whenever we have an event, she'll go through and like individually pray over every single chair in the stadium or wherever we're at. When we were in her house, she prayed over the meal that we had. They took us around their house and showed us like all their little special treasures, and nothing that they showed us were things that were expensive. They weren't showing us a lineup of Rolexes, right? They were showing us like great granddad's shotgun or something like that. That's what we were seeing. We were seeing like the true heart of people. And for me, it's still the deal, because how many of you guys have been in a part of a company and you never really know if they have your best interest at mind, right? Like I've worked for other people and I don't know if they have my best interest in mind. Like they could be pushing me and I never have to doubt that with this company. I never have to doubt if they have my best interest in mind. I know that they are here to make my life better, because why else would they be here? They have everything that they need. And so they're literally showing up because they can do the same for others. And so for me, when I saw that kind of leadership, it changed the way that I personally think. And my brain is not wired that way. Like if I'm honest with you guys, and if you know me, I am like very driven, but it's a very like, I'm doing this for me and my people kind of thing. Like I don't have a large vision of like all these other people. But once I got to see that vision that they had, it really grew me as a person. And I started seeing that it can be outside of just me. It can be outside of just my family and my immediate people. And you guys have the ability to touch so many other people because of this company, and I think that they're perfect examples of that. So I'm glad that you guys will get to hear from Cami firsthand. Drop a 1 in the comments if you've never heard Cami speak before, because every Zoom that I've ever been on with her has been absolutely amazing. Yay, we're gonna have a lot of first-time listeners. I think you guys are gonna freaking love it. She is just really authentic and straight to the point. And if you guys have anything, any questions, I want you to go ahead and jot it down, because this is a good opportunity to be able to ask her something, be able to get a genuine answer, because she's going to give it to you straight, in the most loving way. And I think that she's one of the best people to answer questions. So that's all I have for you guys, but I'm really excited.
Amazing. All right. So I don't know if anyone else is on and wanting to share, or Barb, I don't know if you are on now and want.
I think Alyssa was going to share just a little bit too.
Alyssa, awesome. Yeah.
Hey guys, so I have never personally like met them, but the first time I went to conference, it was in 2020, so the last in-person conference that we had, and that's when I truly like felt that this is home. Just seeing them in person and hearing from them, and like even just seeing like walk by in front of me, I was like, woo, I had like a little like fangirl moment. But there was one moment at conference that I remember, and it was when they were talking about people's whys. Like they were just going around the whole room. They would like shine a light on somebody. Cami would walk up to somebody, and she walked up to someone, and this lady was having like kind of like a rough patch in life, and Cami had an idea to like pray for her in front of the whole entire stadium audience, whatever you want to call it. But it was the fact that she didn't have to do that. She didn't have to at all, but she decided to. And that's when I was like, these people are the most pure, humble, caring people that I have ever truly seen, ran into. Like just having them like part of your life in a way. Like, yes, we don't personally like know each other, but that's on my goal, on my dream board, is to actually meet them. But it's just knowing that this family, the whole Pentecost family, has the most pure intentions for us, for the company, for every single person that enters their life. And we couldn't be more blessed to have this opportunity. And I am just so excited, because this business has done so much for me in the past 3 years. And I just feel like it's just the beginning, because seeing everyone else's stories, and I don't know if you guys saw like anybody from the winner's circle, drop a 1 if you have. Like I had major FOMO, because I was really running for that, and it just fires me up to actually earn that trip. So yeah, so many people saw it. And just seeing like everything that they were doing, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be part of that. Next trip, I'm gonna be there. And I want you guys to have that goal too. Like if you're not diamond and above, run for that. Run for it, because there's no reason not to. You guys can earn a trip to go to the island. You can earn a trip to go meet Mark, Cami, all the other people that are going to be there. And it's just so incredible that they are just offering this for us, for just doing our job. That's literally all it is. And you can win this once in a lifetime trip to actually see them, have some one-on-one time, like get exclusive news. I don't know if you guys saw it too, but like people would always talk about like, if you know what I know. And I was like, oh, I want to know. But like, it's just so exciting to see all that. But yeah, I'm so excited. International Winner's Circle. Stephanie, didn't you win that? That's so exciting. Congratulations. I cannot wait to see you there. But I am just like so excited, and it's just overwhelming. Like it's not like a bad overwhelming, but it's like a good overwhelming of how blessed we are. That's like the main thing I want to say.
Yes, we are so blessed. Honestly, this is amazing. I am so excited for all of us to be here and just catch a little bit of that fire. I know this year has been a lot different for so many of us, with not having in-person events and stuff. So yeah, I do want to give a huge shout out. We've got a Winner's Circle member here on this call, Lindsay Kondracki. She went diamond and earned a spot in the International Winners Club. And so we're super excited for you, girl. And yeah, I mean, when you see what happens at these events, like I hope all of you guys, whether you're brand new and you're just getting started, you are never going to want to miss an event, and even just hearing from these 3 leaders so far, I hope you guys have caught that vision of like what you realize and how much bigger your vision grows when you're at these events. So I am going to turn it over. Chelsea, I don't know whose name you're here under, but Chelsea is one of our presidential leaders, and she's going to share a little bit of her vision. It's crazy. Oh, are you there? We can't hear you, Chelsea. Oh, we might be having technical difficulties. There she is.
Can you hear me?
Yes, now we can.
Okay. Sorry. We were plugged into the TV. That's probably why. Sorry, I'm at Ashley's house. But hi guys, my name is Chelsea. If you don't know me, I'm a presidential diamond. And I just wanted to, I have so many things to say about Cami and the Pentecost family, but a couple things that stick out to me is like, I don't know if Cami's on here, but I've had the privilege to be in Cami's home, and she's just opened up her home to us so many times during different events. And I just think that that's so special, first and foremost. So I've been blessed to spend time with her at her home. And I just think that's so cool. Like, I've joined this business 6 years ago, and did I ever think that I was going to be at Cami's house ever? No, never. Like, I just never thought that. And then, we've just had so many nice conversations and like prayer circles and stuff like that. And I've just had so many, I've had so much time with Cami, and it just makes me, I'm just so grateful. Like, and honestly, whenever I feel upset about anything, like in my business, there have been times where like I've been upset at certain things. I go and watch the At Work story on YouTube, and by the end of it, I'm like, okay, I'm good to go. Like, I love this company. I love this business. Like, let me get my butt back in gear. Anytime I'm in any sort of funk, I go and watch that At Work story, because it reminds me what we're a part of. It is the like, I have chills right now thinking about it. Like, we are a part of something so incredible, guys. Like, you have honestly, like, just no idea. Like, you have to experience this, like get to that VIP level so that you can be in these rooms with these conversations and rubbing shoulders with these people, because it's just like, it's so, I don't know where I'd be if I didn't have those experiences. And then the last thing that like really, really sticks out to me was the first time that I ever was invited to an international suite. So we're in Canada. So I don't even know what this was for. I think I made it into the international suite for some reason. I can't remember why. And guys, like, when I tell you that they spoiled us, like, they spoiled us. And I was just like blown away. I like couldn't even believe it. Like, I don't know why, because like, obviously I've worked hard, but it just was so crazy to like be like spoiled. Like, they just handed you a bag and they just started filling it with products. Like, I went home with like so much product. I went home with the whole Beauty Works line, and I just felt so like appreciated and like valued. And this wasn't even like that was like, I think it was 2019 or maybe it was 2020 conference. Yeah, it was. And it was just like, I had been in for so long already, and it was just like, I just felt like, I don't know how, I was just crying. Like, I couldn't believe how much they cared. And I just like, they called me by my name, like, and they all knew who I was. And I was just like, me, like, it was just so crazy. And I just love how they make you feel. And like, it's just, they truly care about you, and they ask you about your family. And guys, like, I've been in this business for 6 years. I've had 3 babies since being in this business. And I got married when I was in this business. Like, I've grown up in this business. I've literally grown up in this business. And they sent me a card when I got married. They sent me flowers when I had my babies. Like, they care. I don't know what else to say. It's just so crazy. And I never thought that I would be recognized that way. So I just love it. And yeah, if I have one tip for you guys, it's like, whenever you're feeling down about your business, get on YouTube and watch the At Work story, seriously. Or like anytime, like if someone quits on your team and you're just like, oh, Like, I'm so annoyed. Like the other day, someone quit on me. I gave them a $20 code and they canceled their account the next day. And I was like, oh, like those times when I'm like so frustrated, I go watch that, and it literally it instantly boosts my mood, because I'm like, this is what we're a part of. This is literally the best thing ever. I could go on and on. I've been to the whole nother level at corporate a couple times. And I like, there's just so many things I could say about all the different conversations and all the different times that I've felt so appreciated and so grateful to be a part of this company. But you guys, I'm just telling you, like, just work your butt off and you will be rewarded by this company. I promise you. Like, they truly care about you. And I mean, they've gone above and beyond this last year. I thought it was going to be so crazy last year. I thought it was going to be so, I didn't know what to expect, and they went above and beyond for us, and we had the best year I think we've ever had. So I'm going to let Cami, I think she's on now, I'm going to let her take over if she's ready. But yeah, guys, the It Works story. And by the way, send that to potentials. I've had so many people on the fence about different companies or about joining It Works or about MLM or whatever. And they watched that video and they're in. I had a distributor join right after she watched that video. And she's brought in a ton of people since. So that's my tip for you guys.
Amazing. All right, guys, I hope you have been inspired, but please jump into the chat and give a huge warm welcome to the woman of the hour. The Cami Pentecost is here with us. I am so excited, guys. This is the hugest honor and privilege. I didn't even introduce myself. I'm Barb Hauser. I'm an ambassador here in Canada too. And Cami is someone that I truly consider to be one of my dearest friends and the greatest inspiration. She is a mentor and she is someone that I look up to, and I know anyone who has met her looks up to her. And to have her give her time to be here with us tonight is such an honor. And I hope that you are excited to, just like Julia was saying, we're going to get our cups filled tonight with this incredible woman, because she speaks life every time she opens her mouth. And if you guys were on the call we did probably about a week, maybe 2 weeks ago, where we said, think about the person that you look up to and like write down character qualities. What leadership qualities do you want to have? Do you want to emulate? And guys, like, I filled the page with things that I look up to and would love to emulate about Cami. She is just someone who will inspire you to dream bigger, to live bigger, to lead bigger. And she has done it all. So I'll let her share a little bit of her story. But guys, whether you're here as a newbie, Cami's been there. She rejoined this business 3 times. She didn't sign her first distributor until she was in for 6 months. And then she was the first Black Diamond in the company. So she just totally rocked it out. And she can teach you about anything that you want to know. So Cami, we are just so excited to be poured into you tonight. We love you. Thank you so much for making time for us. And we'll just let you share whatever you're feeling led to share with us tonight. We can't wait.
I would love it. Oh, she froze. All right. Well, I'm just going to take that as my cue. Is that what I should do? Can you hear me okay? There you are, Barb.
It's my country Wi-Fi. My team knows all about this.
Listen, we won't let that rain on our parade. That's for right. Sure. Well, first of all, 100 of you showed up tonight. That's amazing. I mean, hello, everybody. How you doing? So good to see your faces, and so many familiar faces. Chelsea, you were killing it when I got on the call. And I love the recommendations you were giving. And it's good just to see Jen. You're always out there just crushing it. And there's so many of you here I don't even know. I saw Toya. I was trying to flip through, but I'd get a little distracted because of things you were saying, Barb. But I'm so happy to be here tonight. And I will just give you a little brief background on my story, because I do know there's so many new people. Do me a favor. Tell me how long you've been with the company. Go ahead and drop that in the comments. I want to see that. Tell me what level you're at. And I'm really excited for our time here today for a couple of reasons, just because, Canada's been on my heart. That's for sure. I feel like you guys are just this strong force that just has your head down and you're working hard. And I don't believe that's easy for on any level. You know, you've just got so many things that you're battling there in Canada, and yet you guys are showing up and doing it every day. And I'm just very proud of you. So Barb, thank you for including me tonight. You know, we've got so many things happening. By the way, how are y'all loving this $100 customer bonus? I mean, it is a test, but I want to see this stick around forever. I can't even express to you what is about to happen with your recruiting when your customers start becoming distributors, getting their customers, getting a few quick wins like that, and they're recruiting without even trying. This is just going to have this incredible ripple effect, but it starts with us, right? We each got to get our 5. We got to start building our business, you know, and getting them get their 5 so they have a story, something to talk about. And that's what this industry was built on. This industry was built on just being so flippin' excited about a product or something that you couldn't help but tell anybody that came across your path. And so that's what this bonus is going to do for sure. Okay, so background about me. Barb, you did give a really nice introduction, so I feel like there's really not much left to say, but I have been a part of this company for 16 years. And, you know, it's amazing to me to think, because it feels like, how is that possible? It doesn't feel like it's been that long, you know? So, oh, all right, Nicole from Ireland. I mean, come on now, girl. And I know y'all have got quite a bit of lockdown and things going on over there too. So again, I just want to congratulate you guys for staying focused and keeping this a priority. And honestly, some of the hardest storms I've been through in my life, it works that kept me going. And so it's really this space and this community and a positive thing that you can pour yourself into that is really going to keep you in a positive place, right? Rather than falling into addictions, rather than, you know, depression and all other sorts of things that we could do with our time. And so I'm really proud of you guys for showing up. But 16 years, you guys have been with this company now for 16 years. I can't even believe it. I'm having just as much fun today as I ever have. And I will tell you, I've never been a part of this company when there's a pandemic, but I've been a part of this company with recessions. I've been a part of this company with a miscarriage. I've been a part of this company with a divorce. You know, I've been a part of this company through so many highs and lows. I've been a part of this company before there was social media, before there was Instagram, while there was a TikTok, or not a TikTok, a Periscope, and then there was no more Periscope. And that, you know, so I say that to impress upon you that things are always evolving and changing. And yet what I love about this business is you can build it. I mean, there's just all these different platforms, all these different methods. And yet every time we pivot and change direction, it just qualifies us that much more to do this. I mean, if Barb told you how she first started in this industry, let alone, and it works, versus how she's building now, you know, we constantly evolve. But I love the freedom that we have to do this business from anywhere and any way that we want to. That is such a gift. So joined this business 16 years ago. It was my 3rd time joining the business. You guys got to be thinking, what? Well, my parents own the company. And when the company first started, of course I joined, because that's what we do. We're a family. We support each other. Now, mind you, at that time, I'm brand new in college. And I'm thinking, I'm not going to do this, you know, but that's what we do. We support each other. So I signed up, didn't do anything with it. 2-3 years later, I signed up again because I was a broke college student. I needed a little extra money. Dad and I were kind of doing this. And I felt like, okay, all right, I'll jump in, I'll support them. I think I got a few customers, and back then we called them something different. Samantha, we're in good company, honey. So the 3rd time though was a decision that I made. You know, I had a brand new son. You know, my sabbatical is close to being done from teaching. And I'm thinking I got to go back to school, raise everybody else's kids. Well, someone's home raising mine. And I just couldn't imagine that. And so, you know, it was at that time that I decided to join the 3rd time. And it wasn't because I felt like I got this. It's because I felt like this is what I'd been praying for. And you guys, one thing I will tell you is there's nothing about this business that is easy. It is a simple system. It is absolutely anybody and everybody can do it. Not everybody will, but you absolutely can. But I just love how it really levels the playing field. And it doesn't matter what our backgrounds are, how much schooling we've had, how much schooling we haven't. It doesn't matter how many mistakes we made. It doesn't matter. You know, it just depends on what you want and what you're willing to do. And for me at that time, as hard as I thought it would be to do this business, all the excuses I had as to why I wouldn't be good at this business, that did not surpass the level of difficulty it felt it would be for me to go back to school and raise everybody else's kid and leave Landon at home. And so that's when I made the decision. And it wasn't pretty. 6 months into this business, I didn't even have a distributor. You guys would have given up on me. As a matter of fact, you'd have been like, Barb, you know that girl I signed up and I had a good feeling about? I don't have so much of a good feeling about her anymore. You know, I think about how many people that have been on your team that you've given up on. And you know, here's what I'm not advocating for you to drag people along. That's not what I'm saying. I am advocating that you invite them along consistently. And if they keep showing up, it's only a matter of time before that switch flips and they like get it. The light bulb goes on, you know? And yet you gotta run with your runners, you gotta walk with your walkers, and you gotta wave at your watchers. Don't flip them off. Don't do that. Don't be like, what's wrong with you? No, like, just wave at them, be friendly, keep a relationship going. So when something does transition in their life and they're ready to go, you're the first person they think of. I've even done that and to the people that quit my team. As long as they weren't going elsewhere and being a jerk, you know, I'd keep them on my birthday card list and send them birthday cards. And sometimes 2-3 years later, someone would call me up and be like, I'm so sick and tired of watching you kill it in this business. I can't believe I quit, and they'd come back, you know? So keep those relationships strong, because I promise you, you just never know when the season is that somebody will be ready to run. But you want to be in position to be running with them when that moment happens. And so I'm sure Barb could give you 1,000 examples of people that joined and it took several months to get going, people that told her no forever. And then by the time they joined, boom, we were off to the races. And some people that joined, quit, you know what I mean? Like, everybody's story is different. And so it took me 6 months to get started. It took me another 18 months to go, actually 3 years to go ambassador total. But, you know, it's a journey. It really is a journey. And you're going to learn so much along the way. But I have never been around more positive people in my life. I've never been around more people in my life that say, yes, you can, not, why would you do that? You know what I mean? They're like believing in you and you're their biggest fans. When I have good news to share, I have like 18 best friends I want to call. I'm telling you, like, we tease all the time, but Barb is my Canadian best friend. One time I came to Canada with another friend, but I couldn't come to Toronto and not see Barb. So I'm like, hey, sneak over here, like, make sure I get to see you. I've been there with my kids before on just a random vacation. Like, I'm telling you, the people you meet in this business will absolutely change your life. But you got to put yourself out there. You got to put yourself out there, because you will get what you give. And you guys, here's the deal. You have every ability to be a success in this business. And what I'm so thankful for every day is that we can build this business on social media, because no one knew we were going to be in a lockdown. You know, no one knew that we were going to have to get super uber creative. And I think maybe you can get together in small groups, but that's even a risk in many parts of Canada, from what I can tell. And Ireland, I'm sure, is the same. So I don't want to advocate for anybody getting thrown in jail or anything, but I do know how much we miss and crave community, you know, and that proximity is so important. But I really am proud of you guys for continuing to get out there and put yourself out there anyways, because I know it's not been easy, but I promise you it's going to be worth it. And somebody said to me earlier this week, you know, what do you do when unexpected things come up? You know, and I said, oh, you mean like a pandemic or like, you know, lockdown or quarantine? And I just said to her, I said, well, no one is near the place where they can just sit back and decide because they don't feel like it anymore, or that, you know, they're comfortable. It's time to just put their business on hold. You know, a storm comes, and oftentimes it's the business that keeps our head above water, you know, and it still is a job. It's like a job. You don't get paid if you don't work the business. And so you got to figure out a way to continue to put the time in, but you'll never regret that consistency. And when others, you know, decide to pick it back up after setting it down, they got to go start all over again, basically, you know. And also, there's far too much going on from a corporate level down, and sidelines, teams, the leaders on this page that are putting things out there that you can plug into, that there isn't not things that you can be doing. Oh, Jen, that's awesome. That's awesome. Toya is privately messaging me. She wants my hoodie. She must have learned your method, Barb. Barb does that too. And I just like fold it up, put it in a thing, and I send it, you know. That's so funny. Barb, I'm going to take a breath because I've been doing a lot of talking, which means I wasn't keeping up with the chat all that well.
Yes. Well, that's what I said. If you guys have a question, I know we had a lot of people saying they would love to pick your brain. So I was like, all right, we won't answer them all, but Cami one thing I love is what I've learned from Cami is you roll with the punches, right? And there's never a question that you're going to hit her with that she's not going to be able to give you a comeback for. And all of you are going to have that ability after 16 years of being in this business, maybe less, as you start, finding people have the same questions, right? So I love some of these.
How do I stay motivated? How do I stay motivated? If you can tell, I don't have a voice. It's because between these Zooms and coaching basketball, I got nothing left. I'm drinking a lot of hot tea, sucking on a lot of peppermints and honey, lozenges, things like that, trying to get my voice back. But I'm going to answer that question. Can I just tell you guys something really cool that happened this week? And if you made it on my mover and shaker call today, you might have heard this, but Landon and I recorded a podcast yesterday. And if you saw our live not too long ago, you heard him speak a little bit to just that looming feeling of just feeling like I'm setting my kids up for failure. I'm such a bad mom, or I work all the time and I'm sure they're tired of my phone. And we have all these thoughts in our head. And I'm not saying it's not an opportunity to look and see areas where we could improve. I'm not saying that at all, because sometimes we are out of line. But I think a lot of times the enemy uses that to really mess with us. And yesterday, him and I did a podcast based on a lot of your questions on the subject of mom guilt. But he actually surpassed my expectations. It was beyond the mom guilt conversation. So many things that I believe, I don't think I've seen any men on here yet, but for all of us as parents, women, just women in business, to hear my son say some of the things he said, and we just were it was impromptu. He had no idea the questions I was going to ask him. I think, if anything, to know what this business can do for your kids who are on the front line of the sidelines, it's absolutely life-changing. That was probably one of the greatest gifts I could have ever gotten, just doing that interview with him yesterday, to see his perspective, to see what he's, things are caught, not taught, right? And he's caught a lot of things in the last 16 years. And that's because of what we do. So what keeps me motivated? That I was going somewhere. Oh, by the way, make sure you're plugged into my podcast. That's going to drop soon. What keeps me motivated? Like-minded people. What keeps me motivated? A small, simple schedule I have in the morning that fills my cup every day. What keeps me motivated? Sabbath, making sure I take a Sabbath so that I can really rest and refuel. I can tell when I haven't had my Sabbath or I didn't take a real Sabbath, because I get real cranky really quickly in the week. Everything makes me tight and I just kind of fly off the handle a little bit easier. And that's not my nature. You guys are funny in the chat. But I would also say that it really is having a compelling enough why that you keep driving even on the days you don't feel like it. Now, if you haven't read Relentless by Tim Grover, I highly recommend it. One of his recommendations is to do something you don't want to do every single day. Do something you don't want to do every single day. Now, I've always said, when's the last time you did something for the first time? Because it gets you out of your comfort zone. But his point is, when you do something you don't want to do every single day, it raises your grit muscle. It raises your ability to do the hard things that we try to do all the things we like first, and we save the things we don't like for last. But there's a lot of things in this business that, if we're being honest, we probably don't love. So Relentless, great book, especially for that area. And then I read a lot of books. I read a lot of podcasts, because especially when I'm not feeling it, and I know that's danger. I love what Chelsea said when I got on this call. When she said when she's not feeling it or she's having a hard day, she'll watch that documentary. I agree. Like, you got to put yourself back in position to have the right mindset, for sure. Okay, so how do I deal with responses of I'm broke other than asking to host a post for you? I don't know that there's a real black and white answer. I would say that as I'm developing a relationship with someone that's just like, I'm broke, I invite them to, I offer to teach them, if I could show you how to raise the money, would that make the difference? And when they're not even willing to listen to that, or they're not willing to do those things, they're just giving you an excuse on the whole I'm broke side. Also, if it does seem like somebody who's really genuinely interested and they do maybe seem it's just like a stuck or a dead end, maybe it's not even I'm broke. Maybe it's just a dead end. I love sending this script. I'm going to say it slow enough so hopefully somebody can jot it down or put it in the chat. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being I'm not interested, leave me alone. 10 being I'm in, where do I sign? Where are you? And I say it just like that. 1 being I'm not interested, leave me alone. You like how I said that? Most of them are probably telling you to leave them alone, but we're about to see. 10 being I'm in, where do I sign? Where are you? So somebody says I'm broke. Someone says my husband, I got to talk to my husband. Somebody says, oh, I've never sold anything before. Any type of excuse or what feels like a dead end, throw that script at them, because chances are they're over a 5, which means they've got objections, and that opens the door for us to overcome objections. And then that allows us to really be able to speak to those objections, but we don't know if we don't ask. And, I often found that unless they're just giving me, I don't know that, this is a pyramid, unless they're telling you what their objections are, and not everybody does. What that does is it opens the door. Cause like if they're a 5 or 6, I'm like, okay, well, what would it take to get you to an 8? They're going to tell you what their hang up is. If they're an 8 or a 9, I'm going to go, oh my gosh, like what is holding you back from being a 10 and saying yes right now? Oh, I don't get paid till Friday. And here you thought they didn't want to sign, or maybe it is, I'm a 9. Well, what's keeping you from being a 10? Well, I'm broke. I don't have any money. All right. So what if I had a couple different ways that we could raise that money? Would that be of interest to you? It's just such a great way to really start a dialogue that will turn into either a stronger relationship, a loyal customer, best case, a distributor, So that's one of my favorites.
It so does boil down to relationship, right?
Oh.
It's being able to find that relation point. And that's where, when we know what their objections are, we can really relate to them too.
Somebody asked me how long it took me to go Black Diamond. Well, the funny story about that is it took me, I think just the year after they announced it to do it. I had to show 6 months of 6 figures a month to be able to earn it. I'd already been, I don't know if I'd had 6 months in a row before that, but I could have, because there just wasn't. And I definitely had 6-figure months consistently, even before they announced it. But gosh, what year was it I did that? I think it was 2012, I think, which would have been 6-7 years in the business, And so, yeah. All right. I'm trying to make sure I'm seeing the questions, Barb.
Yes. So I know we have a lot of people that are saying, okay, you know what? I need to get things going again. People that have kind of lost the fire. Maybe things have, not stayed where they wanted them to be with their business based on where they were at. But what do you recommend to people when they're ready to make that leap and they really want to get their ball rolling again? I've had a couple of people message me and ask that.
So a couple things. I would say create a schedule and treat this like a job. Create a schedule and stick to that schedule. Like, I'm going to work from this hour to this hour. I'm going to check messages, but having a schedule and then really sticking to it. The only way to start something is to just get started. And so kind of a recommitment, if you will. And if you know yourself and the best way to do this is to really know some of your shortcomings so that you can set up some accountability, if you will, or I like to say parameters that will allow you to keep moving down the right path. And so, yeah, I think sometimes we're looking for this magical way to just get started again. And I'd say, just get started, you know, and I don't know how right now with the $100 bonuses, isn't it just the coolest thing to get started and really rev up your engines and get paid on a weekly basis. If you're like, yeah, but I've been MIA, or, you know, my team isn't responding, or I think the best thing you can do in a situation like that is just be honest and just say, I know I haven't been really in the game, but I'm ready to be in the game again. And I would love to be able to work with you again. You know, give them time to come around depending on how you stopped or kind of checked out, because they're human too. But yet I just put yourself out there. I've been on a couple Zooms today, so I don't remember if I said it on this Zoom or another Zoom, but I really believe you get what you give. You got to put yourself out there. And if you really genuinely want to get the relationships, you want to see the results in your business, you got to put yourself out there in ways that will absolutely put you in position to make those relationships, and will absolutely put the parameters around you that will allow you to actually start getting the results you're looking for. So I wish there was an easy answer, but the reality is you just got to do it. And I love that quote, you only need 10 seconds of insane courage to change your life. And that's because it's just getting started. And so maybe it's picking up the phone and telling someone so that someone knows, and you guys can then start navigating what it looks like for you to get back in the groove. If you're a leader that stepped out for a while, I would caution you to not just jump right back in and start bossing your team around. You know, you got to earn the right to speak into their lives. And if you've been checked out, you got to give them time. You got to show your consistency and get in the game before you just start kind of like, do, and I'm in the boss and you're all under me. Like that never really goes very well. But if you jump in and you can serve and just really be a part of change and doing things, you know, income producing activities, you know, they'll come around. I always say leadership is never a title, it's always an influence. And so I think sometimes we believe that title carries influence, and really I believe our activity carries influence.
Yes, absolutely. Leader sets the pace for the pack too, right? So what has been your biggest aha moment for breakthrough yourself? That's a good one.
Biggest aha moment for breakthrough yourself. In the business, in like being stuck. I mean, I feel like I could go 1,000 different ways with it. So let me think about that for a minute, because how many of you were on the, how many of you today were on the chat? I'm sorry, the Zoom for movers and shakers. Was anybody on that chat today? Lindsay was on, Jen was on. You know, I know you guys have heard us say over and over and over again that when you think you can, or you think you can't, you're right. And I read something that kind of, I felt like made that a little bit more interesting, that whole thought. And the reason I want to read this to you is because I think my greatest aha moment is when my belief is faltering. Because I don't know how anybody builds a business like this without belief or faith. Long before I read this in this book, I've said that time and time again, even when I'm on a mountaintop high, just going, this is amazing. But how does anybody do this without believing in Jesus? You know, having belief. I just don't understand, because I have needed him so much through this process. I think Jen wrote in the chat, and I appreciate you saying that, just so much with mental health. I mean, you know, I think I'd be lying if I didn't tell you, once I moved to Florida, I realized how the gray days in Michigan affected me that I didn't even know. And so it says in here, if you keep thinking you're a victim who never has a steady job or long-lasting relationships. So let me reframe that. If you keep thinking you're a victim who is never going to promote to that next level, who's never going to requalify at their highest level, you're training your brain to look for evidence which absolutely supports that belief. And actually you're filtering out anything that is evidence which doesn't. Your brain is looking for evidence that supports the fact that you won't requalify, that you won't level up, that you're not worthy, that this isn't for you. Your brain will search for that evidence, and guess what? It will filter out everything else. Anything else that could be true that is like, no, that's not true, but it's filtering it out because belief is so heavy that you can't, that your brain has created a rut, like a, have you ever seen a kid ride their bike down the same trail over and over and over again? And it like just creates this rut in the dirt. And so they have to ride through that rut every time they go through. When you have a belief like that you think over and over, you speak out over and over, you hang out with people who also say it to you, or they're in the same place, man, misery loves company, I've noticed. And sometimes we don't even know that we're misery. We just love to commemorate with all these people that are, you know, in the mud. And yet, if we can change what we believe, we'll change the results we're getting. That's my greatest aha. It always has been. Before I could ever put words to it, you will never, ever, your mindset, your income will never surpass your mindset. Your level in the business, your pin level will never surpass your mindset. And let's just say you hit it, you'll fall down to what you believe you're worthy of. So, you know, I really believe the more you focus on training your brain and moving the words that you speak in the right direction, the more quickly you're actually going to believe that you can do the darn thing, and then nothing will stop you. It's not a skill. It's not a circle of like a network. Oh, well, you know, Barb came in and went diamond in 9 days or 7 days or whatever that was because she had this huge network. No, Barb did it because she came in and went, holy flipping cow, I can totally do this. Like, oh, not only can I do this, watch me, you know? I mean, she just had such confidence and belief. And I don't disagree that maybe some of that came from the fact that she'd done this before and she's looking at this going, this is freaking amazing. Like, why haven't I been here? But at the end of the day, it was because she believed she could. And so then her brain was looking for evidence that was true and filtering out anything else that said that wasn't true. And so that's what we really need to focus on. All right, I'm going to answer one more question. I have got 3 kids that are not in bed yet. They love when mom does late night calls because they get away with this. Yeah, so it's so funny too, because you should have heard, what time's your call again? What time's your call again? They're getting a little bit older now, so I let them get away with those snarky behaviors. But okay, Julia's question or Jen's question? I don't.
Julia. Yeah, so Julia had asked, what's your best advice for keeping your cup filled when you're the cup filler for most other aspects of your life? And Jen said, how do you build strong leaders? So I think that they both go pretty hand in hand too.
I can, in a nutshell, tell you, Jen, how do I build strong leaders? It's through relationship. It's through modeling the right behavior. It's through not asking my leaders to do what I'm not willing to do. And the mindset stuff, Jen, will absolutely help you to be able to respond versus react when your leaders are being buffoons. So there's that. Because it can be discouraging when they're not, you know, moving it at your level. But again, the belief thing we just talked about works on how you believe in your leaders and how you just, like, every time you look at them, you just see ambassador all over them, you know, and you speak that over them on a regular basis. So let's talk about how I fill my cup, because I've always had certain few of these here and there in place, but it hasn't been until this pandemic and this quarantine that I got so super disciplined in the area of my morning habits that's how my cup is staying full. And so I still read a lot of personal development, but I would contribute the number one reason to why my cup stays full because of my morning routine, getting up early, getting in the word. I don't just like read books about the Bible. I don't just read books about faith. I actually get in the word every single day. And I mean, like, I read a chapter a day of the Bible, and I have groups of people I share ahas with, or things I'm learning, or questions I might have. But I believe when you get in the word gets in you. And I don't know how anybody does anything like this without faith. I don't. I believe there's lots of great books out there, self-help books, great mentors, coaches, role models. But I believe every idea that has been written in those books came from the Bible. I'll read Bible. I read verse after verse and go, oh my gosh, that's the premise of the entire book that John Maxwell meant on Everyone Communicates, Few Connect. You know, like when the Bible talks about they'll know that we're different by how we love. I mean, every concept that comes that in any of the best books I've ever read has initiated from the best business guru I can imagine, and that's Jesus. And so I read the word every day. I do gratitude every morning. And you guys, I want you to know that this isn't just I do gratitude every morning. Like every morning, the first thing I do when I wake up is I have a journal by my bed and I write down 2, 3, 4 things that I'm thankful for. And I challenge myself to write down 1,000 things before I ever repeated one of them. 1,000 things. Do you know what that does to you? It forces you to really look outside of yourself. I mean, I was writing things down like I could hear the water flowing from the hot tub to the pool, and it just sounded like this beautiful trickling brook, you know? I could hear birds chirping, and I don't know that I even heard a bird chirp pre-pandemic in Florida. You know, I didn't think there were cardinals in Florida. That was one of the saddest things I thought I was leaving behind in Michigan. And you know what? There's cardinals everywhere. And so, you know, again, it's really, sometimes I believe the depth of our gratitude is very shallow, which means the peace is shallow. The cup being full is shallow. But when you really get granular and you really look around to see, man, we are so flipping lucky. God is so good on so many levels. And don't get me wrong, you guys, there's hard stuff. I'm not trying to discount that. But I was a woman who was waking up for 2 to 3 years straight with anxiety, dread getting out of bed. And this has changed everything for me. I wake up before my alarm goes off and I'm thinking thoughts of Thanksgiving in my head. And that's just by training my brain this way. So I do that. I read the word. I'm on this push-up kick. You know, I get up in the morning. So even if I can't work out that day, I got my push-ups in. And I'm usually getting anywhere from 25 to 30 in. And I'm going to work that up to 30 to 35. And then, you know what I mean? Like, that's just become a thing that I've done for my physical health. Heck yes, I drink my coffee. And absolutely, I have a journal where I just write a couple sentences about the day before, because it's really cool to look back from year after year. I think we overestimate what we can do in a year. We underestimate what we can do in 5. And that just kind of reminds me where I was at mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually, you know, year after year. Those are some of the main things, Barb, but man, and then the Sabbath. Every Sunday, I look forward to it. The thing about these AAU basketball tournaments, they're cramping my style. These Sundays have turned into championship Sundays. And so, you know, I'm looking for creative ways, but I genuinely do not work on Sundays. You know what I mean? Like I'm really trying to give my brain some downtime in that space where I don't have to be on, or I'm not motivating people. But those are some of the basic things I do, guys. On a grander scale, I really pay attention to my circle. My environment matters. There's something for me about getting in nature every single day that just like, you know, even going on a walk. And so, you know, those are some things that I really am mindful of.
Oh, I love all of that. All right, guys. Well, I want every single one of you guys to let's just love on Cami for just a quick minute before she gets off here. I want you to drop in the chat something that you see in Cami, whether it's from trainings she's done in the past, from something she shared here tonight. What is a character trait that you would love to emulate or duplicate within your team that you see in Cami? Because I think she deserves to hear it.
Wow, you guys, you are the sweetest. Jen, we've been doing this with each other for a long time. That means a lot to me. Oh, now you're gonna have to save the chat because I can barely read it as fast as they're jumping in there.
If you guys did not know, you can save the chat from the Zoom if you click on the 3 little dots down by the chat bar, and you can save it so you can go back and read some of the ahas I know people were sharing as we went through the call.
That's awesome. Thank you, guys. That's very sweet.
Soak it up, my friend.
We are so grateful. I can tell you guys some good news that's happening with me personally, not a boyfriend. There's that. But I'll be excited to share that with you when the right time.
Yes, we love to hear all the inside scoop. Feel free to share away. We are always open to it.
We'll keep asking that we're able to get together like this, you guys. Make sure you've got your tickets for the event coming up in the fall. Use the business building benefits to really, sometimes I feel like we've got the $20 codes and the loyal customer bonus. It feels like if you're not good at walking and chewing gum at the same time, it might be a little bit of a challenge, but I want to encourage you to get your 5. And as you start, as you're talking to people, not everybody's going to be a candidate for the business. So get them as a customer and then keep having conversations. It's really not like, what should I focus on first? It's like the focus is you're having conversations, because out of every conversation, someone's going to become a customer or a distributor. And our goal is both, right? So anyways, thanks for jumping on here, guys, and letting me jump on late, Barb.
Hey, we will take any moments that we can get with you.
I'm so glad you
all
asked.
learn from you every time that we get exposed to your mindset and to your heart. And I just can't imagine living without you in my life, in my business. And
it's been far too long, though. I mean,
it really has. I know. I'm dying.
It really has.
Open the borders.
I know.
Again, soon. It will happen. I believe
it will. Absolutely. Love you guys.
We love you so much. Thank you for your time.
See ya.
All right, guys. Well, thank you all for jumping on here. I know every single one of you guys is walking away from this